125-pound fighter in the world.
Steve Arsack, this man is very well-rounded.
He can do it all at a world-class level.
Jose!
The legendary king of Rio, Jose Aldo Jr. The man's an absolute living legend.
He has a country behind him. They love this guy.
Jonathan Martinez, 6 wins in a row, multiple TKOs.
This man is so dangerous.
UFC live from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Saturday, April 27th, UFC flyweights come to light up the Las Vegas skyline in a crucial top 10 bout. Mateus Nicolau looks to rebound and climb the flyweight ladder as previous title challenger Alex Perez re-enters the fray. Don't miss a full event of action. Live from Las Vegas, UFC Fight Night, Nicolau versus Perez. On ESPN and streaming on ESPN+.
X-Martial gear is some of the best gear I've ever worn.
But wait, there's more. Fasten your Nogi shorts belts, because X-Martial's Dojo Roadshow is hitting the road, and it's nothing short of epic. Imagine this, an X-Martial team, an RV, and a mission to visit gyms far and wide. We're talking challenges that'll have you in splits, literally and figuratively. Meetings with the biggest personalities in the jiu-jitsu world, and a tour so wild, you'll wish your life had a rewind and watch again button. This isn't just a road trip, it's a rolling jiu-jitsu carnival, and it's all captured on our YouTube channel. Picture the funniest, most thrilling parts of jiu-jitsu, packed into an RV and sprinkled with that special X-Martial flair. The Dojo Roadshow is where the mats meet the road, and every stop is a story waiting to be told. So, subscribe, like, and get your laugh on, because X-Martial isn't just about changing the game, we're about making it hilarious. One dojo at a time. Don't miss out on the movement, the sponsorships, and the roadshow that's making history. One epic YouTube episode at a time.
What is up, everybody? What an epic finish to an incredible week. If you missed all the action, don't worry. We will keep you updated, but there was an epic conclusion to a week-long story, and one, Andy Varella coming through victorious in the last seconds of overtime, and it was incredible. Look at the smile on this man's face. That is the smile of a man who not only put points on my fantasy board, but who etched his name in stone. He said it, he made it happen, and guess what? That guy you think he is, he is. He is him today. Congratulations to our good friend, Andy Varella. We'll have him, plus many of our friends dropping in and all the analysis you could take. Please welcome to the PGF Post Show. Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you live at the conclusion of a great week here at the PGF. This was season finale night. We had to change the suit. Look at this. We went from a different suit earlier today to a black suit because we celebrate like it is a black tie event for the finale post show. And I brought along two friends of mine, still in their same suits. They didn't do a swap out change. Mostly I just surprised it on them. But we go first to one, Jake Watson. Jake, how are you feeling, man?
Raph, it has been one of the most intense weeks of my life, and I'm not even close to how intense it was for the competitors. I am so grateful for the work that all 20, even more than 20 of the PGF athletes put out on that stage day in and day out for the last 5 days, from the draft to day 1 through 4 of the regular season, and then this postseason. I felt like I was a part of something absolutely magical here in Las Vegas at this undisclosed location, and we witnessed jiu-jitsu history. We witnessed a paradigm shift. I believe there's going to be a changing of the guard. It's incredible.
Well, that's a great way to look it up, but now let's go to our friend one, Tim Freeman. Tim, how are you feeling, my man?
I told you so. I called it last night. Andy Varella was going to win it, and he did, but I got to say, he barely did it. The only other suit I have to change into is my birthday suit, and that's not going to happen because I want to be invited back for Season 7. What a great night of fights at the PGF. If you're not happy, you need to go home.
Hey, and nobody wants to go home yet because we still have a few people that we need to interview. But I got to tell you, you picked him. I drafted him. A lot of people knew here that Andy Varella was going to be a playmaker, but you're right. It did come down to a few inches, and I do want to say this. Why don't we go to our first topic, which is, how did Andy Varella do it? I mean, yeah, it's one thing to put it out there. It's one thing to say, I think I'm going to win. However, to actually do it, especially during a week where you go through doubts, you go through injuries, you go through mental hardships, I guess I'll start with you, Tim. How did he do it?
Well, he did it by getting past PJ Barch twice. That's how he did it, and that is not an easy feat. In fact, his first match with him was a draw, so that's not really getting past him, but he didn't get tapped by him. PJ came back today, and he was on a vengeance, and he had a great match. He's not an easy opponent to get past, but I feel like once Andy was able to deal with him, he felt like he was going to be able to get to Jett Thompson. Took Jett Thompson to overtime, beat him in EBI rules overtime. That doesn't surprise me. But I kind of expected him to get after it, but not play it so dangerous that he could get tapped. And we saw that he had a couple stall calls on him, had to take referee's position a couple times, but he still managed to take him to overtime and win.
Some of the best Grambies that you can ask for at the right time, right place.
Emergency Grambies.
Jake, how did he do it, sir?
Well, Ninja Andy Varella possesses a certain aura whenever he goes into any match, and I think match in and match out, he grapples like the mat's his. He grapples like you should be appreciative of an opportunity to grapple against him. That kind of confidence, that kind of aura that he possesses is intimidating to go against. The only person that didn't grapple with sort of a more careful approach, including PJ Barch, I feel like was Jett Thompson. Jett threw caution to the wind every single match, and he didn't get bit for it. But Andy, really his toughest match was PJ Barch. And other than that, it seemed like he was able to sort of have his way with most of the people. Now, I will say that there was so many matches in the regular season that I could be forgetting a couple, but I really do think Andy possesses this sort of attitude when he grapples. It's very tough to deal with.
I mean, if you're doing the math, I think we ingested somewhere in the neighborhood of about 132 matches this week. Wow. And that's just on the mats. Not including all the pummeling that's going between friends here, all the fighting in the group chat, and much, much more, especially when we were trying to figure out where we were going to eat this week. But, gents, we're going to call a little bit of an audible here. We're going to put a pin on this portion of the show. We're going to go to a second topic a little bit later, but we do have some guests, and I want to get them on because I know you guys want to hear from them. So we're going to excuse our two friends to go do some booking. They'll be back a little bit later to go ahead and go over some of the topics that we still have yet to talk about, as well as a couple highlight packages. So, Tim, Jake, thank you very much. We'll see you guys back in a second. If you're still with us right now, hey, or just joining us, my name's Rafa Esparza. We have our friends going out to make sure that we're going to bring on all the people who made impressions here at this show. So it has been an incredible week. We have so many stories. We had over our 20 athletes who were originally bid on, then extend to a group of alternates who also made names for themselves. So Andy Varella didn't just beat 20 people. He beat a ragtag group of alternates, people that were from his own team, his own affiliation. It was just incredible. And yet the other story right there with it, Jet Thompson looked like an assassin, so none of this was assured. And if you're watching there, that's on top of the fact that you had ex-Marshall yesterday night winning $100K for their team. So when you take all of this into consideration, you think to yourself, what is it that makes the PGF special? It's that you have these incredible storylines, these incredible athletes, and just more and more we're finding that this is going to be the way of the future. So we hope that you guys are greatly entertained by all of this. But I wanted to start off our interview series tonight with a gentleman who, by all means, was done coaching his team, but didn't stop coaching his individuals, and I wanted to give him some shine. You know him, a legend within the sport. Dean Lister. Dean, how are you doing, sir?
Doing okay. How are you?
I'm great, man. You know what? Why did you end up coming back over to your coach? Your job was done, man.
No, I didn't know the PJ ended up in the category. I was coaching one guy, and we had alternate DeWitt, and his wife, also Miss DeWitt, was competing. So, yeah, I was here. Of course, my job, I think all the coaches' job is just to be a positive influence. So even if they're not my student, like, I want everyone to succeed and get better. And that's the meaning of the sport. Like, why do we do this? Why do we fight, you know?
It's that
better and better and better.
Not everybody passes on their knowledge, but it's just watching you kind of infuse that with your students. I wanted to talk about a clip that I believe Jiu-Jitsu Outlet ended up getting, which is you told your team to put their concerns, things that they want to work on, in an envelope, and that you would address them. And I thought that was such a cool thing. Where did you find that strategy from,
Well, I got
sir?
the idea. Someone told me, you know, if you have something, problem in your head, write it on a piece of paper and put it in a drawer and shut the drawer. I've done it before, and it actually helps because it's not in front of your face.
Yeah.
You have the problem, but it's in a drawer. So I expanded upon this for whatever reason. I decided if someone else has my problem at that moment, right, it helps me. It's a visualization exercise. So what they do is they write down the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever on an index card, right? Whatever's bothering them. They put it in the envelope, we seal it, they sign it, and I sign it. Before the match, they give it to me, I put it in my pocket. At that moment, I possess the problems.
Wow.
It's a psychological thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm huge on visualization. You know, I've done a lot of things and work with people. And my favorite thing is always, I'm not an ADCC guy, but I know mentality. And whenever I work with my guys, I tell them, I'm like, my job is going to be help you get your brain straight. So that way, when you just go, it's either your jiu-jitsu worked or it didn't. But it should never be at the expense of your brain.
And everyone's different, you know, so everyone warms up different, everyone relaxes different. Some people, like my friend Mirko Krokop from Croatia, he relaxes by playing poker, right? That's how he relaxes. And after his fight, he'll play poker. He's just a different guy, right? Some people want to relax talking to their family. Some people do not want to talk to family. It depends on the person. So it's just my job. It's a new drill, but I think everyone liked it, and hopefully it made it an impact, you know?
Am I allowed to steal that? Can I take that from you, sir?
Yes, of course, of course.
Beautiful.
It's just something I thought about. I'm sure there's better ideas than what I have, you know, but it's a visualization tool, you know?
The way I explained it to people who I was kind of reciting it to is I said, you know what was very unique about it is that you have such short time to work with these athletes. It cuts through that short time and it says, hey, listen, I haven't trained with you every single day. Maybe I'm familiar with you, but I don't know what's ailing you to help you get there. So I thought that was just a really cool way of shortening that and making the best use of your time.
Every human being, fighters, especially fighters, I mean, a lot of fighters have a broken past, you know, things they're dealing with. Every human being has these kind of things. So whatever you're doing, if you can forget about those things, you can focus on your fight at that moment. Every moment, be in your now, your moment now, right? What is it, 1 second, a millisecond, right? Whatever you can do is better than thinking about, you know, the sick parent, God bless them, or the problem child, or I'm sick in this way, or I have a health problem. Write those things down and just forget about them for a little while. And at the moment, you're only focusing on your opponent's 2 legs and his 2 arms. That's all you're focusing on. That's it.
Well, I mean, for you, legs, obviously, that's the reason that one got first, so I understand that, sir. I want to comment on this, which is, I saw you out there, and I was curious because you were coaching so much. You were the most vocal coach that I heard, outside of Elijah Carlton, who I also heard coaching his team. But for me, when I heard you specifically coaching, I was just curious if your time on The Ultimate Fighter helped in preparation for this. And if not that, was there any other kind of experiences that helped you in your coaching and the way that you were approaching
this? That was a great experience to be a part of The Ultimate Fighter. But I have my own way of dealing with people, and I cannot impose my will. I mean, I could try, but I don't want to do that because it's too much of a short time. Even The Ultimate Fighter was like, I think it was like 5 or 6 weeks.
Sure.
Okay, you can actually help someone in 6 weeks, right? But it's not 6 years, right? Yeah. But in 3 or 4 days, all I'm here is to answer questions, give you a few tips, and some drills like what I said with the envelopes, things like that, and just be there for them. And the reason I walk backstage all the time is because some fighters want to shake my hand and talk to me about something. This guy does this guy does that, and I'll talk to them about it. Some people want it, and some people don't want that, actually.
Right.
But either way, I'm by their side,
Right.
And that's what I strive to do. Yeah.
Just the accessibility of that. I love seeing you over here. I noticed that you guys handled the mats here. This was your team practice that you guys did here. Why did you choose here, headquarters for the PGF?
Well, because why drive 20 minutes away if it's available, right? Everyone else is driving. We're like, it's available, so we just chose it. Yeah. We had a place to go in Henderson, but we're already here, so let's meet here. It's available, so we did it.
When I thought about that, I just said, you won the location battle, so well done, sir.
We got lucky. I think everyone's like, we have a location, and they're gone, and we were stuck with the best location, so I'm not arguing at all.
And I'm jealous because I wanted to stop by, and I wanted to be like, what's going on over there? Yeah. So I was very appreciative that you were able to do that, and we had a lot of folks who were working in the production who just said it looked like a great time. It looked like your guys left with something very valuable. So I'd like to know this.
Yeah, sure.
What was your top moment from this week, sir?
Everyone made me proud. All my guys, even the ones who lost or got injured, I'm very proud of them. The first day was very hard because they were all hesitating. Yeah. All my guys, even PJ. PJ is my top pick. Hanson, my second pick. They were hesitating. They were fighting hard, but they were hesitating. I thought, man, gotta wake up. At the end of the first day, they started to wake up. And I said, you gotta wake up, and they all did it. So I don't know about, I think PJ did the best of all. Of course, he ended up today. He did great. He fought a very hard fight against the champion. Very, very close match. I mean, they're, a different day, PJ might win. A different day, Varela will win. You never know. And that's the thing about the sport. It's your day or it's not your day sometimes.
Absolutely.
I've had days where I wake up, I'm like, what's wrong with me today? I've had days I wake up and I look around, I can smell the cooking down the street. I look at the birds. The birds are very beautiful today. And I win every match.
Yeah.
It just happens that way. But he fought hard. All my guys fought. Hanson fought very hard. I'm very proud of PJ because he put his will into it. The first day he kind of hesitated because there's a lot of pressure on you when you number one pick. But he put all his heart into it. He fought very hard. I'm very proud of him.
Dean, I want to ask this because you have such experience, you have such a wealth of knowledge in both competition and instructing.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for the next group, for those who are going to be going on for future generations? Because I think a lot of people are like, we did it and we're done, but that's not the case. We're trying to pass this thing forward. As a coach, what is the best advice that you can impart to those who participate in this?
Okay, let's see. I mean, fundamentals, maybe. Well, okay. Stay away from drugs, of course. How about this? If you're young, find the right person as your mate, right? Be very careful, okay. Either be single or find a nice boy or a nice girl, whatever, If you're a girl, whatever, guy, whatever, I don't give a damn about politics or being PC, okay? You find your mate, a nice person, or you stay single. If you find a wrong person, it can ruin your life.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that, of course, we know drugs can ruin your life, obviously. Everyone knows that. But if you find the wrong person that you attach yourself to, I know several Anderson Silvas that, I know their names, but no one knows their names because they found the wrong person.
Right.
And they ruined their life because of this, right? So attach yourself to the right people. What they say, your top 5 best friends reflects upon yourself. So attach yourself to good friends, good people, around good energy, and your mate or who you trust. Make sure that's a good person. Otherwise, it's a problem, right?
Well, Dean, after watching you compete, I was jealous I wasn't in there. And I was jealous that I didn't get to kind of get you coaching and hearing all the great insight that you have. I know on behalf of the athletes, they all talked to me. They all told me what a great person you were to have as a coach.
Well,
so I hope that you felt that energy, and I hope that you know that we were watching you coach, and I just wanted to give you your props.
Well, I want to say, I didn't have much time to work with my guys, but there's no such thing as a bad student. There's only bad teachers, and I do take accountability for what happened with my team. But I didn't have much time, and I did my best. But, hopefully they did appreciate, and hopefully they got something from
from my perspective, maybe they didn't achieve this goal, but I can guarantee you whatever they're taking from this experience is going to help them far beyond.
And that's the whole thing.
That's what we're trying to do here,
you
man.
Get better and better and better. Every time you do an event like this, you get tougher and tougher and
Absolutely.
tougher.
Well, Mr. Lister, it is always a pleasure talking with you, and I hope all is good, my man. Hey, thank you so much for your time.
My honor.
Hey, no, I'll hear, my man. Dean Lister, everybody. Oh my goodness, what a great way to start the show. But let's continue this on. We got somebody who just won a big thing. Look at, he's got a belt that's obnoxiously big, and yet he deserves it. This was an incredible week. My man was saying all month long. He puts it on Instagram. He tells you, I'm going to be that guy. Whoever you think you are, I'm him. Today, he's him. Ladies and gentlemen, go on over to a champion of PGF Season 6, one Andy Varella. Andy, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, guys. Yeah, what's up?
What's up indeed, sir? How does it feel to be holding? Well, first of all, we got to switch that belt. Let's flip that around. You're not an Emniatic. You're a champion, my friend. Oh, my goodness. You know what? It looks good on you, my friend. Congrats, bro.
It does. Face is a little messed up, but, you know, it's all right.
I mean, given the fact that you had a lot of mat time, it is to be expected. You went through some wars. However, sir, tell me what does it feel like right now to be holding this championship belt?
I knew from the beginning I could win it. You know, I said it a bunch, and I spoke it into the universe, and now I'm here. Who do you fucking think you are? I am.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You know what? So here's my favorite thing, man. I've always known you to be interpersonally great with us. I've always understood the assignment for you is to get people intrigued, get people excited. But what I saw about you from the day that you started, from maybe 2 days prior, is you went from getting us hyped to, y'all don't know what this is. Yeah. This is an intense competition. You started putting it in perspective for us. So from the day one, when you were drafted, what did that experience feel like to you here?
I knew it was going to be a tough road, and I knew really anything could happen. I could have got fucking injured on the first day, and you just never know, you know? So to stick it out and make it all the way unscathed and not submitted and rarely ever swept and rarely ever taken down, it just proves how good my jiu-jitsu is. And, you know, I'm proud of myself, bro. I've been saying I'm the best in the world for a long fucking time, and just to get this dub and go against all the guys I had to go against, it just completely proves it, bro.
You were mentioning for your ADCC run that you almost didn't want to compete, yet you had to be talked into it. Was that Casey that talked you into it? Who was the person that brought you into that?
Yeah. Casey just told me to lock in, man. I was so sad. Like, I didn't really think anybody in the world can beat me that day. So to have that crushed, it was really a big hurdle to get over. But, you know, Casey just told me to lock in. He looked me in my eyes and told me I need to man up. And it's the man thing to do, is just forget about it and go do what I need to do. And I subbed an amazing guy in under 2 minutes. And, you know, that just proves the ice in my veins, bro.
Let me just say, from my perspective, I think that's when you won. Yeah. I think once you locked in, you said, I'm going to go get the respect on my name, and I'm going to come with that chip on my shoulder come PGF. And man, every time I saw you in the comment section, you were like, did you rank me number 2? Yeah. How dare you disgrace me to my face? Yeah. And even, I mean, I drafted you first. And I had words from PJ coming to me, and I was like, bro, you know I love you guys. I gotta go with where the math was, and you proved me right this week, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for that. You did the right thing, bro. I hope I got you some good fantasy points. And
you definitely did, because guess what? This is a double champ podcast right now, sir. I ended up winning the fantasy league.
Go,
so
bro.
I'm telling you, man, we both made great plays, but more about you.
Okay.
All right. What was your hardest match the entire week, sir?
Honestly, probably that. Well, emotionally, the Renato match. That's just a match that emotionally was a real big roller coaster for me to go into and to get through. I have a lot of respect for that guy. People really don't understand, like, the relationship. I don't think anybody ever will. As far as how he helped me believe in myself to make it to that ADCC World Championship level. I was just a brown belt MMA fighter with no intentions of being one of the best in the world. And he kind of opened my eyes into that. Him and Casey really kind of, you know, he was more athletically showing me that I could make it, and then Casey was more of like just mentally knowing, like, hey, you're one of the best. You need to fucking act like it and get there. And I did.
It's such a testament to Canuto that he knows you guys are always going to be in contention together. You know, there's always the possibility you guys might have matches together. And I get excited because I know what an upstanding human being he is, but I also know what a great athlete he is. So you put the two of you guys together, it's always entertaining. Was there anything that was happening behind the scenes that entertained you? Because people only saw the show in front of them. They maybe haven't seen the show behind the scenes. Was there anything that kind of stuck out to you during this week, sir?
Fuck, I don't know, bro. It was just like, it's all a blur, honestly. This last 5 days is like no food, barely any proper hydration, just a lot of caffeine and no sleep, and just, the emotions are crazy. So it's really like, I don't know. I felt like I was literally, this is like the only day I had, really. It's weird, bro. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But yeah, so Renato was emotionally the hardest match, but the hardest match, like, technically was definitely Jett. He had the most dangerous game, and honestly, I just know if I can get to anyone's back that I'm going to finish him, and, you know, I proved that today. A big sub over PJ and all these guys, and it's like, you know, I'm one of the best back takers and back finishers.
Tell me about this. When your team doesn't advance, does that give you any setbacks? Or does it just become like, nah, I'm going to lock in, now it's my turn to go? Like, how is that experience going? Because I'm sure you feel a little bit like, man, I really wanted to double up here, or I really wanted to do this with my team and do it by myself. So what does that feel like?
I stopped playing team sports a long time ago because I don't like to depend on anybody. And look, dude, to be real, like, my team, it was a hard ask of them. Like, I don't expect all these guys to go sub fucking Arce or PJ or Renato or Jett or any of these guys, you know? Like, all those guys are studs, and it's a lot to ask of my team to just go out there, hey, bro, you know, just go out there and win, bro. But I don't know, like, I know I could do it myself anyway. Like, I scored big for my team, which is good. I knew I would do my part. I said the pre-show, I was like, look, bro, my teammates are going to love me because I'm going to do my part. And whether I make the extra 20K or not, I knew I was going to get 20K somehow, because, you know.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your day-to-day. Of course, you had to go through some great obstacles, but you showed us right off the back you were here to play. And I was looking at you, and I just thought to myself, not just you, but everybody kind of had a good moment who advanced, where I go, oh, all these guys are so hungry for it. When that happens, tell me about the first match that you had here today, sir.
I knew Kevin Beuhring would be excited to get that match with me, and that's always kind of like, that makes me have a chip on my shoulder, because if you want to match with me, like, I'm going to come get you. And that's just what I showed, you know. It's like, it's cool to say that stuff, but it's also a different story to go make it happen, you know. I always tell guys, like, before a match starts, I'm like, bro, you asked for this. And there's a lot of people that tell me they want to match with me. And it's like, I don't think you really do.
I want to be clear. I don't want to match with you. I just want to, like, even training with you seems like an ordeal that I'm probably going to have to get some insurance waivers to go through. So I'm very excited about that. Talk to me about your second match, sir.
My second match is PJ Barch, and me and PJ are the best 77 kgers on the planet as far as, like, 10 planet goes, and as far as the world goes in general. So, like, to get that win over him, and I respect him a lot and what he's done, and so, you know, to get that dub is a big deal for me. It solidifies, you know, what I've been saying is I'm him.
Now, let's talk about your final. You mentioned it was going to be a tough match. I want to ask you about this. There is a moment. Did you know when he was trying to lock that up where you were time-wise? Because it was really like he had your back, he was looking for that choke, and yet it was right then. Like, when it looked like he could lock in and maybe start syncing that up, it was about 13 seconds that I thought you have to survive in order to win that championship. So what was going through your head in those 13 seconds?
I've been competing for so long, and I've had my arms broken in matches before, and, like, I've tapped big name guys, and I've got my arm broken, like, right after, just trying to survive. And so I know I have that dog in me. Whenever I hear a clock timer, it's like, all right, just take whatever damage you need to and get this win and get out of here and be happy, you know, suffer now and thrive later.
That's what's up. So I'm going to ask a couple quick last questions here, but what does the celebration look like for you tonight, sir? I mean, are we going to see a Kobe Bryant photo at some point of you replicating? I'm also noticing, look at the drip here, sir. Yeah. Is there any symbolism behind the drip you're wearing here today?
Nah, no symbolism. I was trying to stay warmer. It was cold as a motherfucker in here. You know what I'm saying?
I feel. But what does the celebration look like for you, sir?
The celebration's always the same for me. Go take a shower, order a good meal, and just reflect on all the emotions that I went through during the week, and then wake up and start training again tomorrow. People don't understand how like hungry I am to get better. Like I don't know. It's never ending for me. It's just constant progression and constantly looking for the next task at hand, you know? So, I don't know. There is no celebration. The celebration is getting back to work.
I feel that. I give myself one day of celebration, though. You know what I mean? Like, one day is okay, man. You got 20 G's. You can buy yourself something nice. Let's do this last question, which is this. Okay. You know, we're trying to build this thing up. We want people to want to be a part of this. What is the advice that you have for the next generation of people who are going to be in your shoes very soon, sir?
My advice for the people coming up is, watch a lot of Kobe Bryant, watch a lot of Michael Jordan, and really just tap into that fucking mindset, because to be in here, you need to have a great mindset. Look, bro, everybody here was high level, but throughout the days, I realized a lot of guys were saying little tells that kind of just was like, I don't want to be here, or this is so hard, or why would I do this? And me the whole time, I'm just thinking in my head, like, you motherfuckers, like, we all signed up for this shit. We knew what we were getting ourselves into, and I don't know, like, if you're gonna do this, just be ready to fucking lock in, bro. That's all I gotta say.
I feel that. You know what was great is when I saw your posts, I have a couple friends who I talked to, and they're like, "What did you see what he posted?" I was like, "He's in his Michael Jordan phase right now." I was like, "He's in his locked-in place." I'm like, some of us are well-read kids. We know the references, and I just look at you and I think, man, I'm so happy for you. You did a great job, and what I know next is this just is the next step to whatever the next step is. So, man, keep on that grind, because those of us, we're all entertained, but I do have one question. Or one ask, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Could you please not go off these mats? You and PJ going off the mats was terrifying. You almost killed a dog. We're all concerned about your well-being, and you've got several more matches even when you guys did that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been training for ADCC for the last fucking 4 years, so there is no out of bounds for me. Yeah. So I don't know, like, if we have to go into the parking lot and do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, dude, I'm just saying, there are other sports. You don't see wrestlers going out to the cotton candy stand out that way whenever they qualify.
That is true, but the sport's different. This is a different breed, bro.
No, I get it. We're different in all the ways that are, oh man, that's real bad, you can pull guard. But you do one thing where you go, hey, logically, it's a bad idea. You're like, nah, that's a badge of honor. I want that.
Yeah. I see 2 couches and I'm like, yeah, let's go into the 2 couches, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Like, I don't know.
I can list 5 reasons why not, but I'm glad you guys created the most viral moment, and I had a blast laughing at that moment. But one thing I didn't laugh at, your hard work, man. Yeah. I hope you understand it's a testament to what you did, and like I said, I believe the moment you came back at ADCC and you said, I'm locked in, I'm going to go for that 3rd place, that was when you won. So kudos to you, sir.
Yeah, I didn't want to feel that L again, bro. Like, I worked way too hard and sacrificed way too much to take another L. So I'm glad I got this done.
Well, guess what? That's going to hopefully punch you a ticket. And when we see you at ADCC, my friend, I just want to tell you this. We look forward to seeing whatever fireworks you bring to the stage. So
yeah, thank you,
big
bro.
ups to you, sir.
I really appreciate you guys for having me on. I was wondering, I was like, damn, 5 days, they haven't asked me to be on yet.
Well, you know what, man? I know how you are. I know when you're going to blow past me.
Yeah.
And I did this. If I was willing to bet on you to win, I had to be willing to take the poker risk of waiting until the very end to see if you'd pay off. And guess what?
Yeah.
We were both right, my guy.
Yeah, this is the right time to do it anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
If you asked me the days before anyway. I still got to be salty at the same time.
Listen, I know what you have to do. I'm just telling you in the future, that doesn't mean you're exempt. I just gave you some room to do you, my friend.
I appreciate that.
My man, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Please enjoy your night.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hey, Andy Varella, everybody. Woo! My man. All right, man, please enjoy your night. All right, ladies and gents, I'm very excited to bring on the next generation. Yes, he's a runner-up here, but you know what? Here's the thing. He's not going to be a runner-up for very long at different events. If you saw what you saw here tonight, you know that the future is bright for this young star. We talked with him a little bit earlier this week, but we have to give him his props for an incredible run that he did since we were able to talk with him last. Please welcome back to the show, Jet Thompson. Jet, how are you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yep. All right, man. I know it's not the win, but do you feel how people have responded to you this week? Have you seen the reactions? Do you understand people are afraid of you, a child, to most of these adults who are now afraid to even roll with you?
Yeah, dude. It's great. Like, you know, like you grow up watching these guys, you grow up idolizing them, and then like you come here and you realize that they're not that much better than you, you know. So it's really good to come in here and get this experience. I think this is a really monumental point in my career.
Well, not only that, but like every time you touched a leg, I think we all grabbed our knees, our lower legs, and we're like, don't do that to me. Like we all felt like that person's gonna lose something. And then I'm looking at the rest of you and I'm like, dude, you're a lanky kid. I don't want any part of your triangle. I don't want any part of anything. There's no right answer if I'm rolling with you. And when that happens, I hope you understand the respect that comes with that, because a lot of us are watching, and this whole event is made for somebody like you. And I feel like you had a star-making performance this week. So kudos to you first. Let's get into the rest of the week. So when we last talked, you went out and decided to run up even more points on the board. What did the rest of the experience feel like since we talked, sir?
What day did we talk?
Oh, man, I don't know. It all blurs together to me, too.
Yeah.
Let's just say 3 days ago we had a chat.
All right, so day 2.
Yes.
So, dude, I felt really good about my week, really. I was hoping I would be able to finish number 1 in the main season, but, you know, Davis and Elijah were doing really good. But, dude, I'm feeling great. I feel like I had a really good performance, a really good experience. I haven't had, like, a bad experience this week. Everything's been great.
That's really good to hear. We'll pass that on to the good people around there. Do you have a particular favorite match that you had throughout the week, sir?
My favorite match? Dude, probably the Varela match.
Yeah? What was about it that made it so epic to you?
The prize? But, yeah, you know, I've been wanting to fight these people for a long time, you know, so that's a great deal for me. Like, the same thing with the PJ match. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been wanting to fight, like, these ADCC competitors, these people that, you know, like I said, you just grow up watching them and idolizing them, and now I'm here competing with them, and it's a really surreal experience.
Did you have a favorite moment outside of anything that took place in your matches? Because there's a lot of adult dudes that act probably younger than you, at least from what I saw in the group chat. So I'm pretty sure, even though, you know, on a maturity power level, I think you were top 3, my guy.
Top 3?
Yeah, I haven't ranked it yet, but I'll go back and look at my rankings later. Did you have any favorite moments that were off the mats? And if so, what were they?
I had a really fun training round with Renato Canuto our first day.
God, that's awesome.
Dude, like, I don't know. I just... Like, that was another thing. Like, I walked in there, I was expecting to, like, for him to, like, mop the floor with me in the training. And then, like, we ended up having a pretty nice, like, flow round. Like, it started as a flow round and kind of, like, got a little
I've rolled with them. I know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And you know what? I don't have your skill. So, as when I roll with him, it's a lot more of me being like, I just hope I don't die. Because, like, this dude is helicoptering around to pass my guard. And I'm like, you're already in mount. Like, you don't need to do anymore. You should be finishing me. And my man's just like, no, bro, I'm having fun. And I'm like, this is terrible. I don't recommend this. 0 stars. So if that was your favorite moment that kind of happened off the mats, I hope that there's a security cam footage that we can get, because I want that footage too now that you're mentioning it. But I want to ask this. Do you see yourself, because you're only 17, doing a format like this again? Would you come back for a future season?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
I'd love to come back to PGF as soon as they're back to my weight class.
Got it. What's your real weight class?
This is probably, this is like right about my walking weight class, 175.
I was about to be like, I don't think you losing more. I don't see it, but I mean, it's possible. You're a young kid, man.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping I can bulk up. I don't know, like, what weight class they do above this.
I think they're doing 205 next, is the rumor I've heard, especially from the commish. So.
Probably not 205.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't recommend that one, but you know what? Who knows at this point? We don't know how much you're going to grow. We don't know if you bulk up and all of a sudden you come back and you're a beast. We don't know. You're at the very beginning of your career, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I'd love to come back here next time they're doing the 175. This is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in jiu-jitsu.
I've been asking people to give their best advice. So I want you to look over that camera right now, and just right here, right in front of you, what is the best advice you have for somebody who's going to do this next season or these future seasons of the PGF, sir?
If you're looking to do the next few seasons of PGF, the best thing is to have the game in every area of jiu-jitsu. So, not necessarily well-rounded. You can lean towards, for me, example, I'm more lenient towards playing guard, but you need to be competent in everything, So you need to be able to pass, you need to be able to submit from passing, you need to be able to back take, you need to wrestle a little bit, you need to be able to play guard, you need to have a very diverse game. So when you look at these guys and you game planning for them, you especially in the regular season when all that matters is the points, you can say, okay, this guy is weak for this guy's weak for this, I might have to leg lock this guy, I'm probably gonna have to pass this guy, outside passing's not gonna work, inside passing I need body lock, I need to play inside guards, I need to play leg locks, I need to upper body attacks, I need to take him down and jump on his back, You need to be very diverse and have options to attack people from everywhere.
You speak well beyond your years when it comes to jiu-jitsu. You have a very systematic and strategic approach, and I think that's a great thing. We're just seeing the beginnings of your mind starting to kind of put all this together, and I'm just looking forward to whatever the next generation is. As you were mentioning, I was like, oh, he's in his guard era. That's what he's doing right now. He's in his guard era right now. Watch what happens when this dude is passing. Did I hear this straight? Did I hear the fact that you have other brothers and sisters? Or
Yes.
How many?
I have 5 little brothers and a little sister.
So does that mean we're going to see other generations of Thompsons coming in and infiltrating and beating up people? Do we have to worry about a 9-year-old at the next PGF?
Maybe in a few years. I'm working on the younger ones.
So you're already making sure you're hey guys, we need to make our own team right now.
Yeah.
Because you never know if we need to get together. It's going to be a family affair right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me just tell you this, man. Perhaps the greatest value out there, I heard rumors that when you were up for grabs, that your coach basically said out loud, it was there's something about this kid. There's something about him, and I'm sure that got back to you, but I think that's very true. I think there is something about you, and I don't believe this will be the only time that you and I talk. I think in the near future, you'll be doing something bigger and better, and I really await the time that you and I get to talk when there's going to be gold or a medal around you. But you're just beginning, and consider us all fans here. You definitely won us all over this week. It's great when you have a bunch of grown-ass men who are going around and going I'm scared of this kid. You're the new horror story, my man.
Thank you.
But I hope you take it as a compliment to your jiu-jitsu, and I just want to thank you on behalf of all of us here for just an excellent display of your jiu-jitsu, and we look forward to what's next, my man.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations again. Well done this week, and thank you for everything, man.
Thank you. It was great being here. Thank you to everybody.
You're great. Jett Thompson, everybody. Please go enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Woo! Woo! The future is scary. The future is tall. Oh, my goodness. Look at this kid. Nervous about him. My man's just I'm just in my guard era right now. It's all good. I'm going to fix things up. Well, we're going to bring back on our good friends, Jake Watson and Tim Freeman. Guys, some really good interviews. Thank you for getting those individuals. I think I can tell you this. I'm scared for the present with Andy Varella, and I'm scared for the future with Jett Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And yet, the person who used to scare me the most, the boogeyman himself, was actually the sweetest human being. So it's a tipsy-topsy world. I don't know exactly what's going on. But why don't we go to our little second topic over here that we didn't get to do earlier because we wanted to go straight into the interviews. But the question I have for both of you, what was the surprising moment of today? And I'm going to start with you, Tim Freeman.
The moment, honestly, that surprised me the most today was seeing Jett Thompson pick off Elijah Carlton so quickly. I just didn't see it going down that way. I kind of thought Carlton would hang around long enough to take him to overtime and that he might have a chance to beat him in overtime. And, I picked Carlton as the number 1 seed, but after watching Jett against Varela in overtime, I'm not so sure that Carlton could handle Jett in overtime right now, especially given the fact that Carlton's been talking about how much his back hurts, how much his feet hurt, how tired he is, how he hasn't trained in a while. He put on a great show, but that I think was the most surprising moment today, is that he got him so quick.
Jake?
For me, the moment also had to do with Jet Thompson, and it was Daniel Sathler on the receiving end of. It was just a very confusing performance, I felt like, as a spectator, because Daniel Sathler did take the day off yesterday, and you'd think he'd come in guns blazing. We'd see the Daniel Sathler from day one, perhaps, right?
Yeah.
But it looked almost like he had sort of a, I want to say, a dejected sort of performance, and that was it was just confusing. And no disrespect to Daniel Sathler, but it was just wondering, maybe he was a little more banged up than we thought. Maybe he wasn't ready for today, and he was tired. It's tough to say, but I think that Jett really was. It could have been a much tougher match that first round, and it looked like Jet Thompson kind of walked away with it a little bit easier. And even talking to Jet Thompson on the side, he was like, yeah, I was very, very surprised. I thought that it was going to be a completely different match.
I want to agree with you there, because I saw him, and he was, telling us, like people do when they say, hey, I'm sorry about my performance. I'm like, champ, you have nothing to be sorry about. If anything, we understand what you were up against. The fact that you made it back out there. Whether people think that, taking a day off works or doesn't work, once you get there and you're in that group, we understand what you went through. And that leg was not going to be 100%. Just like everybody in this tournament. Everybody came away with injuries. But I did have respect for him going out there. And, dude, it's a tough pool. All of this is a tough pool. Nobody likes to be on the losing end of any of these things, but it's just the way it works. And some days it is not your day. But today it was Andy Varella's day. And I argue this. Taking Andy Varella to overtime, it's also Jet Thompson's day in a way. Like, I think you have two great storylines coming from here, and I don't know how Andy feels about this or Jet feels about this, but I could see a rematch with them very soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if this actual tournament that we saw here this week has implications for ADCC or other promotions that may be looking at this to pull for super fights in the very near future, because Jet Thompson wants all that smoke, and Andy Varella still feels job's not done. So I'm very excited to see what that means. I do want to start kind of going into a few different things, but I actually want to take a moment here, and we didn't get a chance to really preview this package, but I'd love for you to just kind of narrate what you're seeing over here. Go ahead and take this one, Tim Freeman.
So we have, so we have the crowd. This is Raf walking through the crowd here. I'm trying to see who was going in on the fight here.
This was the end fight, so we weren't able to really show you guys too much of the actual action here, but you do see Varela, you do see Jet playing guard as he does. But one of the things that I want to capture here was just the looks on everybody's faces. Like, look how invested they are. I feel like that's such a great accomplishment of a dream that these guys had from Alabama, to really say, like, we know we could put this on a bigger platform. We know people could be invested, and yet when it got down to it, and you had two people who had amazing, compelling stories, able to put it all out there, I thought that was really fun to watch. So I wanted to get a little bit of the crowd kind of interpretation here. Let's roll the second package, though. The second package is actually kind of showing you the results of how, when we're in overtime, we got there from this last few seconds of regulation, while both of these guys are looking at each other like, oh, this is going to be intense. And look at these competitors on the side, just taking it all in. Everybody just really nervous. Like, I don't think any of these guys knew what to think or to feel. You got Karen Bryant, Dean Thomas looking over at Roger Gracie just in his thoughtful pose. And here in the last few seconds of regulation, you saw Andy. People were telling him to do multiple things, but it's hard to put Jet Thompson away in this particular second. So once we saw that, with 33 seconds, that was the time on the clock. And Andy Varela does become victorious, but here's a nice moment with Coach Casey, the two of them embracing just seconds before he was awarded his championship belt. It just, to me, maybe you don't even need to see the action completely, but you get the emotion from both the competitor level, the audience level, and just from the spectator level of, this is what it feels like to be here. So I hope in the future we can build this up to bigger and better things, but I think proof of concept was definitely out there. So I'm going to ask you guys just for thoughts about the week. So I'm going to start with you, Jake. What stood out to you in terms of the competition this week?
So I've said this in a few interviews that people have pulled me to give. I believe that what we have witnessed this week is a potential paradigm shift in the world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition. We saw a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu league and how it functions, and it was a gigantic success. I don't think anybody who is here could argue with that. I don't think anybody watching live on UFC Fight Pass could argue with that. It was special. It was unique. Typically, traditionally, Jiu-Jitsu competitions operate in a giant Grand Prix format across a max 2 days. This was a really sort of a 6-day event. If you include the draft, the 4 days of the regular season, actually 5-day event, and then you include the postseason finalized by a championship. You had super fights. You had Nakia Jackson defending her belt. This is so much more than a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. This is the first ever Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu league. It is the Professional Grappling Federation, and I believe that we're going to see a lot of competitors want to get in on this in the future.
Great. Thank you for that, Tim.
You know, PGF Season 6 took a huge jump in comparison to PGF Season 5.
Yeah.
The previous 5 seasons had the same heart, the same dedication, the same physical output. The athletes came looking to get after it, but through the effort of Brandon Mccaghren, Keelan Lawyer, Zoltan Bathari, and Heather Gracie, it's been elevated to a place that we just haven't seen it before. I've been around the jiu-jitsu community for a long time, and I've never seen anything quite like this. There's not one person in this, even the security people, the people that work inside the building, the people that are helping for the event, the EMTs, they could not help but get caught up in what was going on. And I talked to one of the guys that was kind of stationed down at the end near the green room, and he was kind of bummed because he had that duty today and he didn't get a chance to peep in on the fights. Just an amazing time. They did a hell of a job out here. I think if you're out there watching, you really have something you could latch onto and follow. It's got the feel of a professional sport, and it's got the passion of an amateur league with a bunch of people that are hungry and they're wanting to get after it. And I just can't say enough good things about the PGF this week.
I'm going to kind of give some closing thoughts in a second, but I want to get just last impressions. What was your submission of the entire week? I'll start with you, Jake.
Oh, my God.
That's a tough one.
I would say Renato Canuto's flying armbar has to be far and away the most impressive on Mike John. It's just hitting a flying armbar at the highest level of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition is so difficult. But it's almost, I don't feel comfortable giving one answer. It was such a special event. How could I give one answer? There's 5 days of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition. Shoot. On the last day of the regular season, in the first block, there was 7 submissions out of 10 matches. I have to rack through my brain about all the submissions. I mean, Renato Canuto's armbar certainly sticks out of my brain, but I don't know. I would have to go back and look.
Okay. Tim.
Listen, it has to be Andy Varella getting the tap on Jet Thompson in overtime. Nobody got Jet Thompson this week. Nobody even really came very close to getting Jet Thompson. And to be honest, Varela only got to his back because of the EBI overtime rules. And I'm not taking anything away from Varela, but dang, that's a really hard job. Nobody even really got to his back. So to see Varela be able to get that finish on Thompson, for me, that's the submission of the week. It stands out. It puts an exclamation point on Andy's performance. Amazing action here. It is real. I agree with Jake. It is hard to call just one out. There's been a lot of great stuff that's happened this week.
I mean, it's an incredible week. I'm still processing it. I think what's going to end up happening is at some point in the near future, we'll do another episode of The Bullpen, which features the 3 of us, and we'll be able to break it down even further. I know we're kind of in a fever dream of sleep, so we're trying to process our thoughts, but I also wanted to give you guys an opportunity to go and tell people where they can find you. So I'm going to start with you, Jake. Where can the people find you if they liked your work this week?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jake Watson. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Jake Watson Media. I am a professional play-by-play and color commentator. I am a ring announcer. I work in broadcasting for many different promotions and many different streaming services, but I absolutely love the work that was done here on the PGF world. You've probably heard me on every single major jiu-jitsu tournament, every single major jiu-jitsu event, including the PGF world. And I will continue to grow, and I will continue to make this broadcasting world my career, and you might even see me back in competition soon.
Thank you for that. Is that a threat? Like, is that what's happening here?
Is that why you attacked me last night on the couch?
Oh, no.
With the leg lock? Is that
I
what that
attacked
was
you on the
about?
couch because I've been living in an Airbnb with you for 5 days, and quite frankly, I'm sick of it.
I think it's more so that he hasn't trained. I don't know that you did anything to trigger him.
One.
That was really what it came from, because
week of not
it was the most delirious, playful version of you where you're like, and I go, what's happening?
It was like 1 a.m. That video was taken at like 1 a.m.
Hey, but you almost got.
And you're about to get got once
wow.
the camera.
Hey, listen, you know what? No, you're not, because what did you learn this week, if nothing else from me?
Don't fight for free.
That's
No
right.
bits.
No, well, that's the second part. But so just so people are clear on our dynamic, the only time I say no bits is when we have to get work done. And these guys literally start doing bit after bit after bit, trying to top the jokes. And I go, no. Let's do the work so we can go to sleep, so that Jake can actually have one answer instead of two when he cheats. When I say, give me one answer, sir.
It's because you were hungry.
No,
you were
it's
driving and you're like,
I told you.
No bits.
No.
No,
first of all,
stop this car right now if you don't stop.
Here's what happens to these two children that I'm driving, which, by the way, you're welcome for driving you everywhere. It's that they started giving me directions, and as they're doing it, they're like, turn left, right. And I go, what's left, right? And they go, oh, don't worry. And I'm in the middle of the street, and I go,
Tim did that.
well, guess what? You're not helping when you go, hey, you know what that reminds me of? I got a quick impression I want to do. And I go, that doesn't help us get to food. If we get to food, I'll be happy. And guess
literally
what?
the funnest time to do a bit is when you say no bits.
It's not.
To be honest with you.
We love doing bits.
When you say no bits, it's like bits
And then
are
the
on.
two of you guys are sitting there trying to tell each other, like, this is funny. And I go, none of this is funny. I want to be very clear. And it's not because... A harsh sense of humor. I have the best sense of humor. No. I laugh at everything when it's funny, so just take that in mind. Tim, tell us where the people can find you.
The people can find me on the streets, and if you don't find me on the streets, you're going to have to find me on the internet, inside BJJ, Google, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, MySpace. All of it. I'm out there, Friendster, Napster, not the others, but just those. Inside BJJ, hit me up. If you're in Stockton, I got 10th Planet out there, the 209. And if you're out in Nashville, come see me at 10th Planet in Nashville. Can't wait.
Great. I wanted to make sure we plugged before we gave last little statements, if anybody wanted to make them. But before, we didn't mention that Matt Elkins yesterday got the submission of the night. Do we know, are we doing submission of the night tonight? No? But it was a night. We had a night. Yeah. There should be another submission of the night, right? Who am I talking to? Yeah, like this is Wizard of Oz.
He's got
what is that?
Wait, ass hoodie.
Yeah. Do we have one? Executive producer?
I just work here, man. I have no idea. Bye.
Wait, why are you? No, don't just back out like some weirdo.
Andy Varella's for the championship. How hard is that?
Thank you, Egghead, taking a stand here.
Thank you.
It's nice to have somebody of stature and dignity. Gents, I'll give you one last opportunity now that you've done your plugs to say any last statements you'd like to make. I'll start with you, Jake Watson.
Last statement I'd like to say is thank you so much for listening to our very many riffs and hilarious things and also takes, whether good or bad, here on the pre and post show. It's been an absolute pleasure broadcasting live on the UFC Fight Pass YouTube and officially on UFC Fight Pass for PGF World Season 6. My name is Jake Watson, and that's all I got to say.
Tim.
I want to say thank you to you guys for working so hard with me this week. It's been an absolute pleasure to work so incredibly hard with such a talented group of folks. So I really appreciate that. I'd also like to say thank you to Brandon and Keelan and Zoltan and Heather and Isaac and the whole crew here that has put this together. I feel very fortunate and very blessed to be part of this. It was a very exciting week in my life. I felt like I really didn't think about anything else except for PGF and grappling, and that was a pretty cool break. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching at home. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you guys, especially for all of your hard work this week. Just to tell you, in case you haven't figured it out, my name is Rafa Esparza. I host a show called The Grappling Hour. You also may know me from Verbal Tap Cast, a show that I did for years. I love doing this. I have been so ecstatic all week to help in our small way to help contribute here. And I hope that you guys will go check out our channels, see the different things. I've already started lining up interviews for the very near future with a lot of the talent that you've seen on these mats, because I don't think we're done giving credit to these guys. So be on the lookout for that in the very near future, as soon as I wake up from a sleep coma in the near future. But I just wanted to kind of end by saying a couple quick little things. You know, if you watched it's very likely that you are part of the demographic, the base that has made this what it is. So thank you so much for continuing to support this group of people who have taken something special from Alabama and made it for a much, much wider audience in almost every regard. If you're new to the sport and you showed up tonight, thank you. I don't know how you got here, whether it's a clip, somebody recommended it to you, or you just ended up by a weird search term and ended up here. We thank you because it is so important for you to help us continue spreading this message, getting it out there, showing these athletes with their characters and their great submissions, continuing to push that forward. So for every comment, every like, every single thing that you're doing, it helps to continue to build this thing, and that's what we're trying to do. And I want to say, if you were one of our athletes, your grind, it didn't go unnoticed. We saw it. We were here for it. We covered it in every way possible. And I want to kind of caution you with this. I know that some of you guys were starting to get like people saying things about you. As we get bigger as a sport, that's going to continue to happen. But a lot of us who love this sport know what you're doing, and we're doing our best to tell our version of those stories and help you get more eyeballs on what we consider to be excellent jiu-jitsu. So please do know that we hope the best for you, and we really do feel like you'll take a lot of these lessons that you had from this week and continue to go on to have even greater careers, even to highs that maybe you didn't think you would achieve. So if you're one of the crew members, if you're looking around here, we got so many people still staggering around and starting to put things away. We understand. Thank you so much for sacrificing your sleep, your sanity, and in many cases, your physical well-being. It's like, if you're looking at the way people carried themselves, it was done on a lack of everything. Lack of food, lack of sleep, lack of everything. And a lot of the guys here lend their incredible talents to make a shoestring budget seem like a multi-million-dollar endeavor. So we very much thank you guys for that. And finally, to our small crew here, which is myself, Jake, Tim, Octavio, our director, we have really done our best to try and show something new. And we've been trying to do stuff like this for years. And we've gotten people who want to see more stuff from us, and that feels so good. But I got to tell you, much like everybody here, job's not done. Like every athlete that came through these mats, job's not done. If you want to see more of us, show us. Show us that you like it. Share our clips. Help us get that, because I guarantee you, if you think you saw something now, just wait until we come back. And if I am lucky enough to host this desk, I am happy to lend what I do to so many of you guys who have been so good to us. And that is BMAC, that is Keelan, that is every single person behind a control deck or with a headset. You guys have done something special, and we're glad to lend what it is that we do. You know, guys, I think that's pretty much going to do it for us here at the PGF, signing off after an incredible week of fun, hilariousness, and nonsense. We really, really appreciate you guys for sticking with us. So I think that's going to do it for us. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.